Hello, my name is Camasso, and today we are going to be discussing the one thing on most Americans' minds outside of the coronavirus, and that is our stimulus check. The money that the American government has promised most Americans, and yet seems as if it's been delayed a little longer. So here we go. These are the facts. This is when you'll be receiving your check and what you need to do to make sure your name is included on the list for the stimulus check 2020. My name's Camasso, and this is NEPA Investigates. Hello and welcome to NEPA Investigates. My name's Camasso, and today we are going to be discussing the one thing that is driving all Americans insane, and that is the stimulus check. Today we are going to be going over all the details on how you and your family can receive their money, the quickest way to receive the money, and what you need to do, if anything, to receive your 2020 coronavirus stimulus check. Again, my name's Camasso, and this is NEPA Investigates. Welcome to the new NEPA Investigates. Today we are going to be discussing the one thing on most Americans' minds outside of the coronavirus, and that is the stimulus check. Where is it? Who will be receiving it? What does it include? How much is it? How do I apply? Do I need to apply? Millions of questions going out there, and I'm going to answer them all in one place, as well as give you a very tight estimated timeline on when you can receive your funds. I personally reached out to several high-ranking members of the IRS as well as the United States Treasury Department. I have confirmed the majority of this information to the best of my knowledge, and I really hope this video does help you and your family prepare accordingly in these very trying times. So what is the stimulus? President Trump and the Congress and the Senate has passed a bill that has released a good amount of money to the American people. That is going to be coming in the form of a stimulus check. The stimulus check is in the amount of $1,200 for most Americans. That is, anyone that makes under $75,000 annually. Any individual taxpayer or individual that makes under $75,000 income in any form in a year will receive a $1,200 government stimulus check. This government stimulus check will be paid from the amounts of $75,000 to $99,000 with decreasing increments for every $100. So for every $100 after $75,000 that you make, you'll be deducting $5 from the $1,200 stimulus check, which will bring you all the way down to, I believe it's around $600 for those that make around $99,000 a year. So from between $75,000 and $99,999, you will still receive money, but it will be prorated and depreciated from that $1,200. Anyone under $75,000, $1,200. Now, you may ask, will my wife receive this? Will I receive this? That is correct. You will both receive $1,200 as long as you have both filed tax returns as of right now. That is the information that they are providing, and that is the guarantee that they are giving the American people. In addition, all families will receive $500 per child. $500 per child under the age of 16, I believe. So if you have a child under the age of 16, you will receive an additional $500 per child, and that will go to the head of household on whoever's tax return was filed. So whoever claimed that dependent is the one that will receive the $500 bonus. That may lead to a few issues with, split parent situations. I really hope that doesn't. I hope that everyone can work together and resolve that. That's the least of our worries at this point. So that is what will be received. Now the question is when and how. Let's go with how next before we can actually get into the when. I'll give you the when as we develop through the how. So there are going to be different ways that they're going to have to distribute this money, and that is the very big reason there is such a delay on the stimulus checks. So what they're trying to figure out is, first of all, how are we going to pay this? We're going to pay it in direct deposit and check form. Check form means they're going to mail it. Direct deposit is going to mean they're going to utilize the bank accounting information that is on file. Now, people are probably already saying, oh, my bank information changed. Don't panic. They're aware of this. Keep in mind, most banks don't recycle account numbers for a great deal of time. So chances are, in the 2018-19, they have not recycled those account numbers if those account numbers have been closed, changed due to fraud, or whatever the case may be. Don't panic. The IRS has already, whether you realize it or not, sent a ping to your account to determine whether or not that account was active. My ping came in the form of a hold of $0.00. So unless I was staring at my account, I wouldn't have noticed. But I was staring at my account and I noticed. So they did put that hold to determine that my account is still valid. So therefore I know that I'm on that list because I had nothing else incoming from the United States IRS or Department of Treasury. Therefore that was easier for me to be able to determine that I know that that process has already been put in play for me. Now I filed an 18 and a 19 tax return. If you filed either of those years, that banking information is still on file with the IRS. They are going to be utilizing the valid banking information. If that ping came back and that's an open account, that is where your money is going to be distributed. And those are the people that will be receiving their money first. They are the people that will be receiving their funds initially. Those are the people that will not have to wait the substantial amounts of time that most people are going to end up waiting for their check. So that means that as Americans, it almost pays to do your taxes, but nobody knew. So that's how direct deposit's going to work. Now, if your direct deposit information changed, that means the IRS no longer has banking information for you. They are going to revert to your address. Now, they have not determined what they are going to do with paper checks as far as are they going to determine whether or, first of all, they have to determine whether or not you're still at that address before I assume before they're going to mail you a check. So they are going to use the address that is in file with the IRS for your most recent tax return, and they are going to determine that if it was 1819, chances are you may still be at that address, and they are going to send you either a letter to determine, yes, I am at this address, or not. Now, are they going to be doing that in letter form or online form? They are going to be doing that in online form. So what you need to do is pay attention. That website has not been developed. You are not behind in this process. Now, mind you, I already told you that some of these checks are going to be distributed already. You may say, well, that's so unfair. While it may be unfair, they are doing the very best they can with the situation at hand. If they don't have your information, there is no possible way to get that to you any further, and there is no sense in causing people grief if they don't have to. They're not going to run out of money. You will receive every penny that is due to you, unlike the SBA, which is another video I did in a whole different world of mess. So make sure that you're paying attention for that if you do not have a file on with the IRS on your direct deposit and your banking information. Now, hopefully in this portal, and this is what the IRS revealed to me, that this is what they are trying to put together in the portal. So these are the information that you need to have ready for when it comes to your turn. Just like any other application, they're going to have you go online, they're going to have you enter your social security number. There will be one check per social security number. Once you enter your social security number, they're then going to ask your situation. Did you file? Why didn't you file? So on and so forth. Whatever the case may be, that's your point to put it in. The only reason they're asking that is to determine your income, to determine where you fall. This is the first time it benefits you to say you make less. Say you make what you make, but make sure it's under the $75,000. Don't hurt people that don't need to be hurt. Chances are if you made more than that, you may have had the opportunity to have a nest egg or savings. Most of the people receiving the $1,200 probably have next to nothing at this point. So with that said, you may have next to nothing at this point. You wonder, well, when are these checks coming? What am I going to do? They are going as fast as humanly possible. What they told me is within a week to a week and a half, the direct deposit will start being funded. Meaning they are going to start putting that funds into those accounts almost immediately within a week to a week and a half, meaning today is April 8th. So that means we will have funds rather sooner than later if you did the direct deposit method. If not, almost immediately following the release of the direct deposit funds, they will be focusing on the building of the site. The site is going to be implemented where you put your social, your total income, how many people that are dependent on you. And then they're going to ask for their social security numbers, your dependents, to ensure that they are valid dependents and that no one else is claiming them. Once these social security numbers are used through the system, once they are burned and will no longer be accessible through fraud or any other problems, so that's not something that you need to worry about. However, when you report your income, you are self-reporting, which means it's under perjury of law. You will be arrested and tried, and I have a feeling they are not going to be lenient on these cases because this is to help us. And people taking advantage would pretty much be the worst of the worst. And I really do think they do deserve the worst of the worst as far as punishments would be an issue. So you're saying now you still haven't said how long. That's right, and I'm a little weary to say how long. They said for every American to receive this check, it could take as much as 5 months. You may not have those 5 months, and I understand that more than most. Now, keep in mind, there are so many resources out there available to you. There are so many assets available out there to you, and the lending policies on loans, as sad as that sounds, have been laxed extremely enough that you'll be able to get on there and get what you need to get done. There are many food banks open. There's a lot of donations going through. People are wonderful at this time. I mean, I cannot say enough about humanity at this point, how well they are doing as far as donations go. They may not agree on the majority of things, and there's a lot of disagreement between Trump and the Pelosi side and all that crap. But right now we are talking about humanity and getting by and getting what we need to survive. And that is the most essential things at this time. So that's why I felt it was very important to produce this video to let you know what's going on with your stimulus check. So, let's conclude. Within a week and a half to 2 weeks, you should see your funding in your account according to the IRS if you utilize direct deposit for 2018 and 2019. With that said, that is till the 22nd of April. So hopefully before the 22nd of April, you should see that funding. They did not specify that those days would be business days, so hopefully, because they did give me the 7 to 10, 7 to 10 day window, but they did not say 7 to 10 business days. Therefore, that's where I'm getting the week and a half. So, hopefully by the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, we should see that funding in our accounts as long as you have direct deposit. Then, checks will almost immediately start being processed. The accounts on file and the addresses on file that are accurate, they will probably more than likely begin to send those checks out almost immediately. I have a feeling what they're going to do is look at your 18, look at your 19. If those addresses are the same, chances are your 20 is more than likely, not all circumstances, going to be the same. They may just mail a check. I don't know if they're going to do that with the amount of fraud that could possibly go on, and I really don't think it's safe to do that. I think that would be putting your information in other people's mailboxes if you don't live there, if you don't have proper mail forwarding. There's just too many circumstances that are open that I'm not sure that the government is willing to take. I have a feeling you may as well need to register your address to confirm your address in some way, shape, or form. Don't think that's going to slow the process down. This is you signing in, typing in a social security number, marking your address as accurate, and that will immediately process the computer to print your check. That is not a long process, and those checks will be in your home between 3 and 5 days after being mailed at the longest. Now, that could mean checks could start going out theoretically as soon as 3 weeks, and as long as, like I said, depending on how long it takes you to process your information and them to get that information system running to the point where it's not going to crash and there's not going to be problems like there has been on the SBA lending end. So hopefully within 5 months we all receive that. Hopefully that's not the only funds you're receiving. If you have lost work, if you are a self-employed individual, you're a gig worker, you're a DJ, you're a band, anything, you are eligible for unemployment. There are 2 different tiers of unemployment. Standard unemployment that's going to fall under the regular jobs, regular check, regular weekly income. That's already up and running. However, they are in the process of incorporating a new form of unemployment for this disaster to save the gig workers. So there is help additionally besides the $1,200 coming for you as well. Now, if you didn't file taxes, you are still going to be eligible for this $1,200 as far as I'm understanding, as long as you have a valid social security number and you're willing to self-certify your income. If your income is 0, that's still under $75,000, and I'm almost positive you'll still be entitled. Now, do you need an address? Absolutely. Do you need a bank? No. Do you need an address? Yes. How can they send you a check? Do you need a bank and not an address? You can't have a bank without an address, so no. You need an address to receive this money. That's the bottom line as far as, I believe, as far as I'm concerned. You need to have a valid mailing address, and I don't believe they'll be utilizing P.O. boxes for these checks. They do have a few things on there marking about PO boxes. That's something that they are discussing. I think they may edit that, but at this point, I'm almost positive that they're in the discussions that they're not incorporating them at this time. With your check is for use at any point for anything you want. There are no limitations on the funds. My suggestion to you, don't spend them up front. Save, save, save. We do not know how long this is going to last, and you do not know what other additional aid is going to be there outside of your regular unemployment income. Now, like I said, you have the ability to apply for unemployment, and as long as you're unemployed, you have an extra $600 on top of whatever your state gives you. Your state usually is around between 30 and 60%, depending on the state, of your income. That is your standard unemployment rate. Then on top of that, you're going to add an additional $600. That is part of the stimulus package as well. That's $600 per week, all the way through, I believe, the end of July, if I have my dates correct. Now, will they extend that? We have no idea. Will they extend the coronavirus lock-in? We don't know. We know nothing at this point. But what I do know, I felt was important to share with you. So that is the absolute facts on the stimulus check. If you see anything else out there, it is a fake, it is fraud. Do not do it. Unless the site is from either the IRS, the Department of Treasury, it is not a valid site, do not visit it. There are so many fraud sites saying, oh, sign up for your stimulus check here, it's a pre-list, we'll submit it for you. They will not do that. They are taking your information and they are going to take your check. Do not do it. I'm warning you. There are so many frauds. They are not going to call you. The IRS is not going to call you and tell you, especially in an Indian accent, because that's what I've already received 2 in so far. So India apparently is already I deciphered one back to Mumbai. That was the best I can do. But they're already trying to call Americans and gather information based on this disaster, which in my opinion is disgusting. I wish there was a way we can do something about that. But right now we need to focus on our lives, our families, our safety, and our health. Those are the priorities that you need to focus on. Those are the priorities I'm focusing on. And hopefully we make it through this. Like I said, my name is Corey Camasso. This is NEPA Investigates. This is a new program for the northeastern Pennsylvania region where I'll be sharing the most updated information, news, problems, anything that you have that you feel NEPA can improve on. That's what I'm here to do. If you've got a landlord that's a slumlord and treating you terribly, let me know. I'll do my best to investigate. If you've got a business that has ripped you off or provided services that have failed miserably, let us know. We need to share that with the rest of our area so that we can make sure that we are a community and things work well. In the future, and especially in the near future, we are going to have to work together. Small businesses are going to be hurting. You have no idea. If you don't own a business, you have no idea the predicament your bosses and everyone is going through right now. It is scary. There is no other word for it. And while it's sad, please don't be upset with me for this, but I almost feel that what's coming, granted, there's a lot of death and dismay with the coronavirus, but I have a feeling as a result of the problems with the SBA and the blending situation right now, and the way the stock market's going, and the oil prices dropping, that's our surplus. That is going to be dropped in price as well. Right now, barrels are trading at next to nothing. So I have a feeling we're in for a bigger problem than just the coronavirus. So focus on that. Focus on your safety. Focus on your finances. Make sure you're separating and spreading your finances accordingly so all your eggs aren't in one basket. Make sure that you're doing things proper for your family. Follow up with the stimulus check. That is $1,200 for most Americans. That is in your pocket without a doubt. Do what you can. Unemployment is available for almost every industry that you had a job, regardless of what it was. Please do what you need to do. Stay safe and look out for each other. This is not the time to fight with each other. This is not the time to try to get over on each other. There's plenty of time for business and there's plenty of time for entrepreneurialism in the future. But right now we need to focus on rebuilding, helping, and keeping the structure of our communities safe. Because if that falls, you don't want to know. The virus would be the least of our worries. My name is Corey Camasso. Please keep it on NEPA Investigates throughout this coronavirus. We are going to try and provide you with the most up-to-date and accurate information away from the bias of most news reporting sources. We hope this information that we provided today is beneficial. Please like, our page, like our Facebook group, which is Critical Political Thinking. That is our sister channel. A podcast, politics, the whole nine. Those are the videos that are going to be, most of the business videos with the SBA and whatnot are going to be filtered through Critical Political Thinking. And I'm going to be keeping NEPA Investigates on the family focused and the regular day-to-day issues with the coronavirus. So again, my name's Corey Camasso, reporting